Hey guys, Mike with Old Iron. Real quick announcement before the video begins. We're going to be doing some giveaways. Every 100 subscribers, we're going to do a drawing. It's going to be t-shirts, stickers, posters, other cool automotive related stuff. So do me a favor before you watch the video, hit subscribe, give it a thumbs up, and leave a comment, and you will be entered in these drawings. And every time we hit another milestone, we'll do another drawing. As we get more subscribers, we'll do better drawings. So keep subscribing, keep liking those videos, keep commenting on them, and we'll see you soon. Enjoy the video. Hey guys, Mike with Old Iron Automotive. 90 GMC 1500 extended cab basic truck. Pitman Arm is what we're going to do today. And oddly enough, this truck sat for a couple years, okay? And blew a head gasket, had the heads redone, put everything back together to find out that the number 8 cylinder had a crack in it. So I ended up completely rebuilding the motor. It's got a fresh motor in it. And before we blew the head gasket, I rebuilt the front end on this thing. Pitman arm's bad. Now, oddly enough, it's not the ball joint on the Pitman arm, and I'll take you out to stand and I'll show you in a minute. It's actually where it mounts the gearbox. And I thought it was a gearbox that was bad, but it's not. It's just kind of loose in there. So we got to figure out why and see if we can find out what caused it to where it don't happen again. But we're going to do that, and we're probably going to pull those damn running boards, because I'll take you off of here real quick and I'll show you what's going on. Now this is my son's truck, and he likes the running boards, okay? But I think what the problem is, notice it's one piece, all right? Notice the gap in the middle, okay? That's because this, you go over a bump or something, and this might move this way, and this might move that way, or vice versa. And what it's doing is it's twisting this. And what we got is it's half off anyway. So I'm gonna pull them. If he likes it better with the running boards, I've got a brand new set that we could put on it, and I'll just put those on later on. But you start this thing up, and just from it idling, you got this. Now when I first start this up after I dropped the motor in it, I thought there was a damn rod knot. So we're going to take the broken mud flaps off the back and just kind of clean it up a little bit. Now, I think it's still off the ground. Yeah, you can see. I'm trying to do it and hold it still. There's a good amount of play in it. And what it is, see if I can get underneath here, right? It's not the ball joint here, which is usually where they go bad. My play is in between these. And I honestly don't think it's the shaft itself. I don't think the shaft's loose in the gearbox. You know what I mean? I think that this has wallowed out. And like I said, I don't know why. But we're going to take it apart and see what we got. I've got another Pitman arm just in case. And after much research and much debate, 1 5/16. Now, the problem is I actually picked this up this afternoon from O'Reilly's. And if you look, it's a 3/4 inch drive. I don't own any 3/4 inch drive ratchets. So, like an idiot, I didn't look at it when I picked it up. I just saw it was 1 5/16. I grabbed it and paid for it. I didn't look at the drive. So, I had to drive all the way back, which is about 17 miles each way, for a conversion. So, I've got every other conversion in that toolbox except for this one, of course. You know what I mean? I got ones that I'll never use in my life, but I didn't have the one that I need. It's the way it always works out. That and an 18 millimeter wrench for some reason. I think that's going to be my Father's Day present to me. I'm going to buy myself an 18mm wrench because God knows I don't have one. So we're going to get underneath there. We're going to break that loose and pop it off and see if we can figure out what the heck's going on with it. And if I've got enough pep in my step, we're going to start taking these running boards off. Now, I'm backed up. I've got a lot of stuff to do. I don't do this for a living. This is all my stuff, or, you know, like I said, this is my son's truck. My truck, I need door hinges, and the only way to really do it right on that truck. Now, someone's going to comment, you can do it a different way. I already know that. The best way for me to do it is I'm going to end up pulling that fender. Because you just cannot get in there properly to adjust that thing. And to get it tight the way it needs to be tight. So I'm going to pull the fender and I'll just deal with it, you know. So that's going to be a pain because it's a diesel and it's got all kinds of electronics and crap on there. And I really don't want to pull the wheel well. So we'll see. I might do it without pulling the fender, but I think the best way to do it is to pull the fender. We're going to take care of that, and I want to check out the front end on that. It's got a lot of miles, and it's tight, but it just seems to have a little bit of a vibration, or not really even a vibration. You hit like a bump in the road or a pothole, not a pothole, but you know what I mean, going down the expressway where they like patched it and stuff. It just seems to not shake, just be rougher than what it used to be, I guess is the best way to put it. I really don't know how to explain it. So I'm gonna get the front end up in the air and I'm gonna check everything out. Now the front end's relatively new. Well, it is new. It's not even a year old to me, you know. And we completely pulled the suspension out for that truck when we redid it. I mean, there was nothing up there. Everything's been replaced. But that don't mean something didn't loosen up, or, you know, it's out of adjustment, or maybe, you know, bad wheel bearing, whatever. I just need to check it out. We're going to check that out, get that out of there. Then we got to get the limo in here. And we got to do the brakes on the limo, which I should have did before we went to, you know, 1,600 miles of driving, picking my son up, but you know, it is what it is. So we got to get that in here, and we're going to do the brakes on that. And I'm going to check the brakes on the truck when we have it in here. Once I get that done, then we got to pull the service truck in here, and we got to do some work to the service truck. We're going to clean it up, and I don't use it anymore. We're just going to sell it. Then we've got the Blazer. I got to get the Blazer back in here. We're going to finish the Blazer. We're putting new exhaust on it, finishing the front end, and couple other things, and we're going to throw some new seats in it, or not new, but new to the truck, you know. And we got to replace the rollers on the windows and replace the power window switch for starters, man. That's going to be a long-term ongoing thing, so you'll probably see a lot of it because there's a lot that needs to be done to it. And then finally, after all that, I'm going to pull all these cars out of here one at a time. I'm going to power wash the garage, and then we get back to work on that. And that will spread the two Mustangs out to where I can actually start putting the panels on the Mustangs in between working on this. So I'll have room because this is going here. So I've got everything to finish it up. I've got to finish the body work and paint it, and it's done. Yeah. So it's so close. It's killing me that it's just sitting there right now. But we'll get that done. And then hopefully we'll start working on some fun stuff, because, I mean, stuff like this, I don't call it fun. Stuff like that, I call fun. So let's get to it and see what we got going on. Now, to properly do this job, you don't need a lot, man. 7/8 socket to get the Pitman arm off of the gearbox. It's 1 5/16. Okay, at least for a 90 GMC. And then you need a Pitman arm puller, which these you can actually rent from your local auto parts store. I just happen to have a couple. because I don't like, this one has the spot where you can put the ratchet on the end of it, or you can put a socket over it. I kind of like that, but it's simple, you know. And this one's so loose at this point here to where it'll probably just drop out anyway. And then I've said this on different videos, and I'm gonna say it again. Pickle fork. Okay? If you do any kind of work in your garage and plan on doing more work in your garage, get a pickle fork, okay? Or, once again, you can rent it from your local auto parts store, man, if you don't work on vehicles all the time. Ain't no big deal. That's pretty much it. I'll show you what we got going on real quick. One and 5/16, and I'm 90% sure. Yeah, 7/8. Okay, you have a cotter pin here. Pull the cotter pin. I always try to replace it with new. I just think it's a good practice. We gotta take this loose. Then we'll take the pickle fork and kind of stick it in here, and it'll pop this off of this. And then we'll finish loosening this. And then you put your Pitman arm puller here. It kind of slides over this. And the pin goes here. I'll set it up for you and I'll show you. But that's where we're at right now. So give me a sec and we'll get this done. Now sometimes you just take a sledge and you can tap that and it'll pop out. But don't bet on it. You know what I mean? I always try first. It's just easier. It's quicker. And if it don't work after about 2-3 little whacks, I just, I get the pickle fork. But you can do it a lot on like your tie rods and stuff. Your outer tie rods. You take the bolt off, you got the tire off, and you just pop that, and this will just pop right down. It just kind of depends on how wore it is and how rusted and how lucky you are that day. But always had that pickle fork on hand so it don't turn into some giant issue. And what I usually do is I'll put the nut on it to where it's flush, and then it'll pop up and just take the nut the rest of the way off. I want to show you real quick. Yeah, like I said, don't bank on it. It didn't work. But it's where you want your pickle fork, and you just beat the hell out of the end until it pops, man. So that's what we're going to do now, but I got to set the phone down. Alright, a couple swear words later, and we are good. Now, I want to show you. I don't know if you can see that. I'm trying to get a good angle on it. You shouldn't have any play in this. And that's just me doing it with my fingers, you know what I mean? So, we're going to figure out why this loosened up here and not here. And probably put the new one on and just be done with it. I mean, hell, I'm taking this one off. Might as well put the new one on, you know what I mean? But that's where we're at. Now, I might have to break it loose over there too, just to drop this down enough. We'll have to see. Alright guys, got the old one off here. And I mean, like you can see, I mean, it's still good. When I took it off, I noticed the teeth just aren't as machined as well as what I think they should be. I mean, compared to this one, you can see the sharpness and the crispness of them, and those not so much, you know what I mean? So I took the mic to them, the gauge, and there's not a lot, but enough, man. There's probably about 1.5 millimeters difference in between the two. This one's a little bigger, so I'm hoping that this new one's going to take care of the problem. I have no play in the power steering gearbox shaft, or any play anywhere else on the suspension. So I think it was just a bad part to begin with, because quite honestly, that might have 200 miles on it. You know what I mean? And the nut, you know, I thought I might have had a burr on the shaft or something, and the nut wasn't tightening all the way. But the nut tightens all the way up to the end of the shaft, so that's not the issue. So we're going to put this one on and see what happens. Alright guys, let me show you what's going on. We put the Pitman arm on, and I had to take it back off. I didn't get it all the way on. Let me rephrase that. I mounted it, went to hook it up to the gearbox, and I'm about a tooth off, so I gotta get underneath there and I gotta play with it to get it, because I wish I had the old one. On the shaft for the gearbox, you have your regular teeth on the gear, and then you have almost like spacers, almost like double teeth, you know, like little bars going around, and you got to get those lined up. And I was like a tooth off, I couldn't get it on, so I had to drop it. Now let me slide underneath here real quick. You can see I got it up, but I don't have it on. Now, because of this right here, you cannot drop this bar down far enough to remove your Pitman arm. So you have one of two choices, okay? You can either loosen up your gearbox, which you have 3 bolts that go through the frame here. You can loosen those up, push this up, and you can clear this, okay? You're about, once you get everything loose, you've got about 1/2 inch, 3/4 of an inch still in here, so you can't, you just can't get it out. All right. Your other option, which I did, is I dropped the Pitman arm because it was new. It was easy. It was easy to do. You know what I mean? It wasn't all rusted up and shit. And I actually dropped one of my tie rods, and I just took this whole thing. And when you do that, you can turn the wheel and you can actually pull this down and it'll pop out. So that's the way I decided to do it. You could do it either way. I don't think it's, you know, there's a right or a wrong way. I think it's just kind of user or worker preference. So I popped this off, and the one had a little bit of play in it. I had them on the shelf, so I just threw them on. All right, I'll do the other side in a month or so. I mean, it's fine. It don't have any play. I didn't have to take it off. I just don't want to mess with it right now. So I put the new inner and outer tie rod and the new center link in here, or I call it a center link, adjusting sleeve. So you can see right here, there's one of those notches right there. See how you got the normal teeth, and then you got these gaps? If I'm not mistaken, there's 4 of them. Basically, you know, here, opposite side, and then there's here, and opposite side over here. So I think there's 4 of them, if I'm not mistaken. And you got to get those lined up to get this to slide on properly. And I was like a tooth off, so I got to drop it and I got to mess with it a little bit. But besides that, everything's going kind of easy. You know what I mean? It'd be a lot easier if I had a lift. I would have been done a long time ago. So maybe someday. Poor boy blues, guys. Poor boy blues, you know. I got a fancy Harbor Freight jack, though. But we'll peg out on this. I'm out here alone, so I'm trying to kick the tire with my knee to move the suspension back and forth to line up this thing. So I'm going to turn off the camera so you don't have to listen to some new 4-letter words. Alright, guys. She's done. Pitman arms on, everything's on. I realigned it. Now, I aligned it with a tape measure, but front to back, both sides is balls on. Now, I don't know if it's supposed to have a little bit of a toe, you know, toe in. I gotta look that up, but right now it's at 0. I mean, there might be a 30/2 of an inch, you know, play, but it's real close. I took the running boards off. I actually think the truck looks better. I don't know, I just didn't like those running boards, man. So we'll see what my son says. It's his truck. I still got to take off the lower parts of the brackets. I just cut them off with the grinder because they're actually welded to the frame. So I didn't feel like being underneath there forever and a day. I just wanted them off because the one was broke and they rattled and it was just a pain. But if this was in any way helpful, or quite honestly, if you just feel sorry for me, hit that like button, subscribe. We got a lot more content coming, and we will see you soon. Thanks a lot, guys.